I don't want to get too caught up in the numbers of it all, but the compact SUV is an incredibly important market right now. In fact, it's set to double in size to 2 million units by the time 2020 rolls around. Now, with numbers like that, you'd be stupid not to make one, but what started out as a product designed just for Europe impressed everyone in Kia's home market so much that it's now being rolled out over there too. So let's get the name out of the way first. Stonic is apparently a contraction of Speedy and Tonic, and although the car itself is based on the Rio hatchback, that's no bad thing in our book. Compared to the Rio, the Stonic is 75mm taller and longer, 35mm wider, and boasts an additional 45mm of ground clearance. But although the two are closely related, the Stonic rocks a youthful look all of its own, and if you opt for one of the first edition models, it's a look that includes funky contrasting colours for the roof, door mirrors and the rear spoiler. That contrasting colour spills over into the interior too, with highlights around the floor console and the 7-inch touchscreen that's standard across the range. Just as we found with the Rio, cabin space is incredibly generous, with more than enough adjustability in the driving position for even my 6'4" frame to get comfortable. Space in the back though isn't quite so hot, especially with a couple of 6-footers in the front, but the Stonic makes up for it with a decent boot, with 352 litres of space rising to 1155 with the seats folded. Overall, the Stonic is a pretty cheerful place to be, with good visibility, a chunky steering wheel and well-engineered switchgear, although just as we noticed with the Rio, the climate control's red display is very hard to read in daylight. Adding to the cheery feeling is Kia's 1-litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, and despite a modest sounding 118 horsepower, still has a usefully torquey nature that makes it easy to get along with. It's also a 1.4-litre 4-cylinder with 98 horsepower that we didn't get to try at launch, plus a 1.6-litre turbo diesel with 108 horsepower. The diesel certainly has a greater sense of urgency than the petrol thanks to its 260 Nm of torque, but it sounds a little coarse by comparison, and the extra weight tended to take the edge off the otherwise decent ride. All engines drive the front wheels through a 6-speed manual gearbox with a particularly satisfying shift action, but Kia go as far as to alter the ratios to match whichever engine it's bolted to help get the best from it, while a double clutch auto may follow sometime next year. If we're honest, cars in this segment tend not to be desperately exciting to drive, but the Stonic is actually surprisingly agile. Okay, granted, the steering, while beautifully light at parking speed, doesn't offer much in the way of feedback, but with a touch over 2.5 turns lock to lock, it's still pretty keen to turn in. That's just as well, because the little Kia corners surprisingly flatly too, and although at speed the handling errs towards the safety of gradual understeer, it's still likely to put a smile on your face. In fact, coupled with the funky design, the sense of rugged practicality, and the well-judged set of road manners, we go as far as to say Kia have managed to give the Stonic something that's usually missing in this market, and that's personality.